James Wood has been in the worst slump of his short career at this point in time. But let me just say this, you should not be worried long term.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, we are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every single day. And later on in today's show, we will have an A's-Nats preview, as both teams are out of the wild card hunt. Both teams are looking ahead to 2026, but this will be a very interesting matchup because I love what the Oakland Athletics, or actually the Las Vegas Athletics, have done for themselves. So we'll have that preview for you later on in today's program. And in the second segment, do you remember Cade Cavalli, the 2020 first-round pick? Well, when will he debut for the Washington Nationals? Let's discuss that later on in the show today. But we start off discussing James Wood's awful slump. And guys, you should not be worried long term. But I will say this, it's been bad for the kid. This episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today and use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. And as we jump into it, James Wood is in the worst slump of his short career, I will say that. But the timing of it is simply fascinating because you go back to July 3rd when he had a 5-hit day. July 4th looked pretty good as well. And ever since then, for the past month now, James Wood has been in the worst slump of his career. And what has gone wrong? Right now, with what I am seeing with James Wood, number one, he is chasing way too much at this point in time. And I think the numbers also kind of reflect that at this point. Since July 4th, in his past 22 games, he is 10 of his last 84. He only has 2 doubles. He's got 1 home run, only 4 RBIs, and 41 strikeouts to just 10 walks. In that time frame, in numbers form, batting 119, they 400 OPS. This is not the all-star player that we saw going into Atlanta just last month. This is not the guy that we saw, and what I even said is going to hit 40-plus home runs at this point. Right now, his overall numbers, he's sitting at 24 home runs with an 845 OPS. Sign me up for that any day of the week in his first full season. But the struggles are real at this point. And if you look at his overwhelming numbers and what he has and has not done, there are some real concerns for at least this moment. This is not going to carry over for the next few months, in my opinion. I think James Wood will snap out of it. I do believe that this guy is a pro's pro when it comes to hitting, and one of the best hitters in baseball already, in my opinion. But he, at this point in time, cannot catch up to pitchers off speed. On Friday night, Apple TV, in their pretty brutal broadcast, I will say, they showed this one graphic that kind of highlighted a lot of Wood's struggles at that point. Up until Friday night, in what it was his third at-bat against the Brewers, he was 1 for 42 on non-fastball pitches since July 4th. Pitchers are starting to take advantage of our James Wood, the guy who was an all-star, the guy who was in the home run derby, the guy who is supposed to be the face of this franchise. They have discovered what he can't hit, and that is non-fastballs. In my opinion, this is just a blip in the radar. I think James Wood has shown over the course of this season, later on of 2024, that he can hit pitches outside of fastballs. He can hit your curveball. He can hit your slider. He can hit your changeup. And ultimately, he can also hit your fastball as well. But right now, he does have this hole in his swing. And I do think that there are some mechanic errors in there because, again, if you look at his swing now compared to what it was in the middle of June when he was just demolishing the baseball, it's a different hitter at this point. A couple different things could go into that. Number one, I don't really think that it's no coincidence right around when Davey Martinez and Mike Rizzo were fired that this Nationals team has kind of gone in the gutter. And of course, your best player as well with James Wood has also fallen into that slump. Baseball is a mental game after all. We talk about the numbers and showing up and preparing, but your routine changes when you have your two bosses at the top of this organization get canned and kicked to the curb. That is something, in my opinion. And I do think that does have an effect on players. And I think we've kind of gotten a little eye into it with Mackenzie Gore over the past week. After his, what we thought might be his last start as a Washington National in Houston, and he did not look very good, he was asked, like, hey, is the trade deadline on your mind? And he said, yeah, it is. It's hard to ignore these rumors. For James Wood and all the Nationals in this scenario here, it's hard for them to ignore all the noise with this organization at this point. So I think that also comes into play with some of James Wood's struggles. But then getting back to the nitty-gritty of it, he cannot see the off-speed and breaking pitches at this point. His approach is different. He is chasing pitches out of the zone in which he has not done at a really high rate throughout his career at this point. But also, pitchers may have just figured him out. They may have been able to figure him out at this point, and James Wood will have to adjust with that. I think that's a big part of James Wood's game, and of course, we all knew that this would be coming. We've seen it with Bryce Harper. You didn't really see it too much with Juan Soto, but even then, we've seen it at times. You've seen it with Trey Turner here in town, Anthony Rendon. There is an adjustment period, and just because this guy was just named an all-star, we saw it in what happened last season with C.J. Abrams. C.J. Abrams was incredible for the first half, and then in the second half, completely fell off because pitchers found what he can't hit, and again, it was off speed. And C.J. Abrams' approach was all messed up, and unfortunately, it just completely unwinded a really good season from him. I think James Wood is too good to have that kind of downfall, though. And I do believe that he will be able to pick things back up. But the chase rate at this point is quite alarming. And I think James Wood just feels as if he is desperate to get a hold of a baseball. Because again, James Wood is a power hitter. We all know that. But pre-July 4th in 87 games, hitting 23 home runs with 19 doubles, batting .294 with a .958 OPS. Since then, only 2 doubles in 22 games and 1 home run and 41 strikeouts. This is a mental thing, in my opinion, that he is just going to have to get through. He is going to have to work through it, and I do believe that he will finally break this streak because it has been bad. And of course, the Nationals during this stretch as well, when your best hitter is basically sidelined and has been a non-contender at this point for the past month, it's been a bad, really bad product at times. Because James Wood, I don't know if people are aware of this at this point, he leads the NL in strikeouts at this point. A month ago, we were talking about someone who strikes out a little much, you could say, but not at this rate. He wasn't really that close to leading the National League in strikeouts. But of course, you look up and down that strikeout list, you see Aaron Judge high up there, Kyle Schwarber. You've seen, name that player up there, O'Neal Cruz, all these different guys, and Lawrence Butler for the Oakland A's, who we'll be seeing in tonight's contest. But the real thing, beyond the strikeouts, which I thought was a pretty jarring number, he has 12 multi-strikeout games since July 4th and 8 3-strikeout games. He has not been able to contend whatsoever for the Nationals at this point. Luckily enough, this is just a blip in the radar, in my opinion. This is not something Nationals fans should be worried about long term. He is not a chase guy. He does find his pitches to hit. And when he does find his pitches to hit, he does a lot of damage. James Wood will make an adjustment to the adjustments that pitchers have made to him. It's a tale as old as time for these younger players. This is his first real big slump right now in Major League Baseball, and we're just here to witness it. James Wood will be just fine, but he has to cut down on the chase. He has to be able to identify his breaking pitches and be able to hit those balls in the zone and take advantage of off-speed pitches that, find yourself middle. Because I think that's been one of the more concerning parts of this to me, is that James Wood has had some good pitches to hit, and he has not been able to fix that at this point in time. But I just want to say this again. For all the Nationals fans out there, do not hit the panic button. You don't have to worry about this guy. He is a pro's pro. But right now, we are in the thick of it in a James Wood slump. And for Nationals fans out there, it's tough watching this team every single night when your best player, a potential MVP candidate down the road, not this season, but a few years from now, James Wood is in this massive slump. And it's not that much fun to watch when your team is losing and might lose 100 games this season. So stay tuned for more right here on Locked On Nationals. But thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, I mentioned this earlier. I want to talk about Cade Cavalli. Do you guys remember him? What has gone wrong with Cade Cavalli? We'll talk about that after this. And yes, it is summer sports, and yes, they are in full swing. And whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. And you're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? Well, with FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. And I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups like tonight with the Las Vegas Athletics and the Washington Nationals. James Wood, while he is in a slump, why don't you place a little money on him to hit a home run tonight? Make watching the Nationals fun again, and make watching James Wood fun again with our friends at FanDuel. You could do an anytime home run. You could do a 2+ hits bet. And of course, the Washington Nationals, they might get hot. And of course, if they get hot, you'll want to be on FanDuel to witness it. So if you're new to FanDuel, well, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, we are on YouTube. Again, look up Locked On Nationals on YouTube and hit that subscriber button for your daily coverage of the Washington Nationals. And later on in the show today, we'll have an Oakland A's. Keep on saying the Oakland A's. It's the Las Vegas A's now. And we'll have that preview for you later on in the show today. It's some interesting matchups, to say the least. And I love the Las Vegas Athletics. I've always had a soft spot for them. So this will be kind of a cool series for me. Doesn't matter to you guys, but still. Cade Cavalli. What has gone wrong with Cade Cavalli at this point? He has made 15 starts at AAA Rochester and has not looked particularly good in any of those matchups at this point. Cade Cavalli was a first-round pick back in 2020. Spring training of 2023 was shut down after, I believe, going 5+ innings in a spring training outing and looked really good. We all knew that he was going to be in the rotation that season. And unfortunately for him, was shut down, had Tommy John surgery. And last year, we all thought that he would be back second half of the season. Never made the return. Had one rehab appearance last year in Wilmington. He did have he actually made 2 rehab appearances in Wilmington last year and 1 in rookie ball. But this season, we were like, okay, like Cade Cavalli has basically had 2 years off now. I mean, they said that it was dead arm. He had the flu at one point. So we're like, okay, this is going to be the year for him now. Checks notes. It's August 5th. We are 15 games into the season, 20 games into the season, and we have not seen Cade Cavalli at this point. I don't know if this is a Nationals thing I don't know if this is the Nationals being like, well, we're not ready to have him come up, or if this is a Cade Cavalli thing at this point. But can we all acknowledge that this is weird and that this is strange? And at some point in time, I would like to just talk about a Cade Cavalli start up in the big league roster. You cannot tell me that he did not belong at some point this season in this rotation. You had Trevor Williams going out there every 5 days. You had Shin Ogasawara making starts for this team. Why hasn't it been Cade Cavalli's turn yet? I like Mitchell Parker a lot. You could make the case for him to be optioned and bring Cade Cavalli up for a start. At this point in time, with where Cavalli is, if it's not working, then someone just say it. He is 26 years old. He's about to be 27, by the way. He was a former top 30 prospect in baseball entering 2022 and a consensus top 30 prospect, by the way. Like, this guy was a legit prospect who put up crazy good numbers down in the minors and all of a sudden gets Tommy John surgery and we don't hear from him ever again. Where did the Nationals stand on this? Like, when will we finally be able to get to talk about Cade Cavalli up in the majors? Because my stance is really just this at this point. You can't tell me that at this point in time, struggling in AAA is better than struggling in the majors. It's not. He is struggling down in AAA, and I'm just kind of sitting here, maybe selfishly thinking, well, why can't we just have him struggle up in the majors and figure it out? Because right now, there's really not much to play for. There really isn't. It is about the young guys. They'll tell you they're trying to win. Of course they're trying to win, but also they want to see what the young guys can do. Cade Cavalli was a part of that young core just a few months ago. We may have forgotten about him because of the struggles down in the minors at this point, and maybe there's something deeper into that. But over his last 5 or so outings, he's going 5 innings pitch, 6 innings pitch, going deeper into ball games. And while the results have not necessarily been there, because if you look at his past 3 starts, he's given up 4+ runs. But in one start prior to that for Rochester, he went 5 innings pitch, only gave up 1 earned run. The strikeout numbers are still relatively there, striking out 7 guys in each of his last 2 starts. When will the Nationals just finally say, you know what, Cade Cavalli, you're going to be a major leaguer again. You are going to be on this starting rotation staff, and we're finally going to be able to showcase you in front of Nationals fans. I'm just kind of tired of this experience at this point. No one seems to ask any questions, which I get. Like, what are you going to do? They have a game every single night, and what are the beat reporters supposed to do? Like, hey, where's Cade Cavalli? We've heard them discuss it at times, and this is not on the beat reporters by any means, by the way. But still, my frustrations are here at the very top with Cade Cavalli. I want to see him. We want to see him. Why don't the Nationals want to see him in the major leagues at this point? There has to be something deeper in play here with Cavalli. And if there is, I'm sorry. I don't know about them at this point. I think it's way too premature to speculate at this point. He's obviously not injured. He's going out there. He's pitching every 5 days. And yeah, the results are not great, but still, when will we be able to see him? Because we have called up guys who are ice cold down in AAA before, and they come up here and they make a difference. When will the Nationals finally just pull the plug on Cavalli and say, you know what? We're going to have him stop struggling in AAA, and if he's going to struggle, it's going to be with the major league roster. Because what are you going to do, really? Do you really think that the Nationals are going to plan for him to be in this opening day rotation in 2026 at this point? No. Call up Cade Cavalli. It's getting ridiculous at this time. And again, right now, it is about the young guys. Cade Cavalli is part of this future, or at least we were told that, and at least we believe that. Or at least also, there was a time of which we believed that. But give the guy a confidence boost. He has been rotting down in the minor leagues for the past 3-4 seasons just waiting for an opportunity. And ever since he was drafted in the first round and being a top prospect in baseball, he has made one start with the Washington Nationals, and it was not a good start. Please, someone answer. And just please, someone call him up. Make the call and get him up into the majors. Let me know what you think about it, because maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I just think that the Nationals are playing with me and playing with my emotions. I just want to see Cade Cavalli at this point. Is that too much to ask? I don't know. And if you're going to have him struggle up in the majors, because it just doesn't necessarily make sense to me why you keep someone down in AAA. Get him up and have him make a start. It's getting ridiculous at this point. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Speaking of struggling, the Nationals get to play the Las Vegas Athletics, both pretty bad teams at this point. The A's sitting at 49-65, and the Nationals playing at 44-67. But Luis Severino against Mackenzie Gore tonight, not a bad matchup for two bad teams. We'll have that preview for you after this. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your golden Gulf drink and minus the alcohol into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or even off it, you just need the extra boost to stay sharp and energized. The other day, I was going into the office feeling down. I was low energy. I needed a pick me up, and I got my 5-Hour Energy Transfusion, and it tasted good. But on top of that, it gave me the energy to get through my workday. And all my friends, they use it for their golfing ventures. If they play 18 holes or even 36, they use 5-Hour Energy Transfusion to add a little energy to their drink, and they love it. If you go to 5hourenergy.com, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. This offer is valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through and order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And yes, this might be the only person to say this, but I am actually very interested in the Las Vegas A's going up against the Washington Nationals tonight. And before we jump into it, let's just say this. Enjoy tonight's matchup. This is a solid, quality pitching matchup with Mackenzie Gore, the Nationals ace, going up against the Las Vegas Athletics with Luis Severino. Luis Severino is kind of that surprise signing for the A's this past offseason. No one really saw them going in there and giving a multi-year deal. I believe it was the biggest deal in franchise history that they have given up as far as money goes. And pretty cool to see the A's spending some money. Hint, learners, you should learn from them, because last season with the Mets in 31 starts, he was really good for them. But unfortunately for Severino this year, hasn't looked all too great, but still, I think that as far as the numbers go, it's a little lopsided towards a really bad defense that the A's have put out there. But right now, with tonight's matchup, looking at Mackenzie Gore, we talked about it earlier in the show today and kind of how all the rumors going around with him being traded, with Mackenzie Gore and the Washington Nationals just kind of being a mess at this point, how that could affect him. I think tonight you're going to see your typical ace Mackenzie Gore stuff. And for those who might be in the comment section saying you wanted to trade Mackenzie Gore and you wanted to get rid of him, you hate Mackenzie Gore, never hated Mackenzie Gore, never wanted the Nationals to just trade him for anything at that point. But as we talked about, they should have considered it, and they did, and they did not like their options on the table there. So that's where we stand on that. But I think tonight you get your gem that we have been waiting for a little while now with Mackenzie Gore because, I mean, again, earlier on this season, we were talking about Mackenzie Gore being like in the Cy Young conversation. And for those people saying like, you're just saying he's a Cy Young, he put up Cy Young numbers. He has. He's not going to win it. He's not really going to be in the race at this point. He has struggled recently, but he put up the numbers to do that. At one point earlier this season, was leading Major League Baseball in strikeouts. Earlier this season, had a 3.02 ERA as far back as July 9th goes. But ever since then, he has been in the rumor mill. He hasn't been striking out as many guys. And actually, in fact, over his last 3 starts, he only has 10 strikeouts. That's pretty rare for Mackenzie Gore. I think tonight, though, after getting shellacked against the Houston Astros for 6 earned runs and 5 1/3 innings pitched, you will see that gem performance that we have been waiting for. I'm predicting a 7-inning performance tonight, maybe a 1 earned run, maybe, if that, and 11 strikeouts and 2 walks for Mackenzie Gore. I think he kind of has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder after the trade rumors, probably is not too thrilled that his name was in conversations and the Nationals speaking open about it, and they were honest, as they should be, because that's what the good organizations do. They are open and they are honest. I'm sure Mackenzie Gore, it was not surprising to see his name on the trade market either. So I think Gore is going to get back on track tonight. But getting into it with the A's, I love what the A's have done recently. They recently just got Leo DeVries, who is the number 3 prospect in baseball, according to MLB.com, a top 10 prospect, really whichever site you check, a legit big-time prospect. They traded away J.P. Sears and as well as Mason Miller, their stud all-star closer. And the Nationals, you've got an opportunity to take advantage of a pretty bad team here. But the Oakland A's or the Las Vegas A's, geez, they are saying the same thing. So we'll see what happens with the Nationals tonight. But the 3-game series against the A's starts tonight, and it'll be a doozy. So I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats.